Hey Rebecca, I hope that you are well and that you had a good weekend. Okay, so here's the final video and screen share, which is session number 2. Um, that I think there was an issue with the sound when I recorded it previously. So this is what we're gonna go through: the how to build top of funnel and bottom of funnel campaigns, the difference in how to set it up, how audiences work, which is essentially your top of funnel and bottom of funnel, and then building a campaign. You watch me build one, and then you build one. I mean, this one, I believe, we've already gone through it. You've already built your campaign. I'll just quickly kind of go through it again, but I believe you're pretty across that one there. So top of funnel and bottom of funnel campaign is, I think you're kind of already aware of this already as well. But yeah, essentially what it is your top of funnel campaign is reaching new people that have not heard about your brand before. So the idea is to capture people in the top of funnel campaign, and then your retargeting or your bottom of funnel campaign then shows ads to people that have come across your brand before, right? So for example, people that have landed on your website, people that have engaged with your Facebook or your Instagram page or your email list. So those are the two ones that you obviously have running here now as well. And so how to set that up that's called different audiences within Facebook. So if we go to pretend that we create a new campaign, let's go sales. Continue. And let's pretend to set up a cold campaign or a top of funnel campaign. You can use both those terms interchangeably, cold or top of funnel. Tattoo bookings. Special ad category, we'll leave that as is. Sales campaign if you want to do a tattoo booking campaign, A/B test. I prefer not to select that, but to test manually like I showed you previously. This one I also leave off for the type of campaigns that we run. So this is your ad set, and essentially the ad set level, that's where you select your targeting, so your audiences as well. So say for LuxInc, this is really very simple for top of funnel campaigns because you really want to be reaching as many people as possible within your area since you're a local business. So you're not really going to need any ad set apart from just a broad kind of Perth one is the top of funnel ad set audience that I recommend for local businesses. Yeah, so again, going through this, obviously you have your pixel. Here you select the optimization event. So if you want to, for example, create one tracking bookings or where the goal is bookings, it's purchase. Like we've gone through before. This is just Facebook page. You select the different pages. That's pretty self-explanatory. The budget, schedule, also self-explanatory. Now here is the audience section. So this is where you select your targeting. So if we run here a top of funnel campaign, you want to leave for the first of all, you want to leave custom audiences blank here for any cold or top of funnel. You want to select the location, and this is again pretty self-explanatory, obviously Australia, but you want to go a little bit more exact like that here. And then again, yeah, I mean, here you can play around and obviously you can choose the radius if you want to do really local. If you want to do, not even Perth, you want to select your exact area, then that's all done here. Age, again, edit the age depending on who you want to be reaching, and that should be your target audience. So for you guys, it's 35 plus, I guess. In age, gender, I would go for female here, obviously, unless you're trying to reach males as well. And here's your detailed targeting. So this is if you want to select any type of for example, an interest. Say that you want Facebook to mainly focus on women who are interested in beauty. You can select that here. However, for a local based audience, I don't recommend using interests, because what happens is that it just narrows the audience too much, because you're already in such a small area, that the audience pool is already small. And Facebook is so smart these days that if you select the broad audience, Facebook will know based on who starts interacting with your ads, who is the most relevant audience. So for any local based audience, I always do broad targeting, which is essentially leaving all of this blank, so no detailed targeting. Languages, you can just leave that as all languages as well, because Facebook again is smart enough to know who speaks English and who it should be showing English languages to. Here's the placement area. So just to make it easier, I would just select advanced placement, which is Facebook. This essentially deciding where your ads should be shown. But say that you, for example, want to test running just a campaign that's just shown on Facebook. You can simply select manual placements and then remove all the other options like this. And then you can see now this campaign would only show audiences on Facebook, it would only show ads to audiences on Facebook. And you can select, for example, just Instagram as well. And then, it will only be shown on Instagram. Those are the two main ones I would play around with. The audience network, I never, it's not something that I would optimize for as a platform or Messenger only, really. I would do only Facebook or only Instagram if you ever want to test that. So if we then set up this campaign, launch it like this, and then you obviously already know how to do your ad level here, add the text, the copy, the image, the video. This would then be what is called a cold or top of funnel campaign, because we've selected here for the audience, we've selected people, pretty much anyone in Perth between this age, this gender. And that's it. That's how you set up a cold audience for your brand, for LuxSync. So it's really super simple. Now, if you want to create a retargeting campaign, which we already have, so I'm just going to show you here, but if you want to recreate it, or if you want to, for some reason, update it, this is the retargeting or bottom of funnel campaign. So obviously the build is pretty much exactly the same in terms of the campaign level, which is here. Then we have your ad set level, which is here. But the one thing that is different is, if we scroll down here, you can see that in this custom audiences, I left this blank for the top of funnel campaign. But if you want to create a bottom of funnel campaign retargeting, you need to tell Facebook what bottom of funnel audiences you want in this campaign. So that's where this comes into play, because if we just selected the targeting that we selected in for the top of funnel campaign, then it's going to be everyone in that targeting. It's going to be everyone in Perth within this age group and that gender. But we want to narrow it down, right? So we want to create custom audiences telling Facebook, who should be shown these ads. So I've already set these custom audiences up for you previously. So these are really kind of the main ones that I would recommend using. Here's the website visitor audience, Facebook page audience, Instagram engagers audience, and here's a video view audience as well. But say that you want to select, for example, you want to create a new audience. Let's do a website visitor audience that's maybe 30 days, because it can be good to narrow that window. If you want to reach people that are kind of more, I guess, have interacted with your brand more recently, you can do a 30-day audience. And simply what that means is anyone who's visited your website within the past 30 days, they would be captured in this ad set. But now I have increased it. I have it at 90 days for two reasons. Because the funnel for Lux Inc. is a bit longer, so even though it was 3 months ago that people visited your website, they might still be interested. And also because your audience size is quite small already for your retargeting, so we don't want to make any of these audiences too narrow, or then the audience in Facebook is just going to be too small for it to properly work and feed out. So that's why we kind of want to make it a bit larger. But let's say that for some reason you want to create a website visitor audience of 30 days. I'll just show you how to do that. So here, pretty self-explanatory, create new, you go custom audience here. And here you can select what type of custom audience you want. So really the only ones that is going to be relevant for you guys is either website, Instagram account, or Facebook page. You can also create customer list audience, and that's if you have an email list of all your customers and you want to be targeting them in your retargeting. You can add that in here as well. That's just one that sometimes it just depends on how big it is. Because if it's too small, again, your email list audience is going to be seeing a lot of your ads on Facebook, and it just might make them a little bit fatigued of your brand. So it's just something that I kind of am aware of as well when I build all this out. But let's say that you create a website audience, go next. Again, all this is really very simple. The source is always going to be your pixel. Obviously, that's where all the tracking happens. Events, we have all website visitors here. So you can see, you can even select you can create an audience of people who actually visited only specific web pages on your site. So URL contains, for example, say that we wanted to capture anyone who visited your eyebrow tattoo landing page only for whatever reason. You can actually, URL contains, you can actually filter like this, and that means this audience would then be only of people that have landed on this landing page. But again, for your brand, I don't recommend doing that, because it's just going to make the audience size so small that there's really no point. So yeah, because you don't have that much website traffic, it's just best to keep it as broad as possible. So instead, really the one that I would only use for you is all website visitors for this retargeting audience. And then here you can select whatever retention you want, which is essentially how long people should be in this audience. Like, say that we say 7 days, it's anyone who's visited your website within the past 7 days. And that's kind of rolling, if that makes sense. So tomorrow it will be 7 days as of tomorrow, the past 7 days. That's really it. Like, it's so simple. The only other thing is really to kind of name it something that makes sense. So this is what I would call it: website visitors, 7 days. There, for example. Oh, I think my Swedish keyboard there. Create audience, and then that's done. So it's really that simple. And then you can see that's automatically been selected here: website visitors, 7 days. But now there's no point having both these in there, because these people are already captured in that audience. So yeah, we can remove that one. And if you then say that when you created this campaign, you created a brand new campaign, there's not going to be any custom audiences. It's just going to look like this. If you don't want to select one of your custom audiences, you just simply click here, and then you can see that they all appear here. So these are the audiences that I've already created, and you can select whichever ones you want. Just make sure for any warm retargeting campaigns, you don't want this selected, because what Facebook will do then is it will try to find people that are not in just these audiences, but try to reach people beyond those audiences. So then essentially you're making it a cold audience, not just the warm one. So make sure that's not ticked. So The only other thing here, like, yeah, setting up, if you can play around with this yourself, but if you want to do Instagram account, it works exactly the same as what I previously showed you. So you can do 7 days. Anyone who engaged can have various different options here, but I again try to keep it as broad as possible. And then I would just call that Instagram engagers 7 days. And then that's done. So simple. So this retargeting audience here would only be reaching people that have interacted with your Facebook in the past 90 days, or Facebook, I should say, and or people that have interacted, engaged with your Instagram over the past 7 days. As for the rest of these areas here, you can just keep these as is. So I would just make sure that this location here says Australia, and then I would leave everything else like this, just as broad as possible. Because if you can also select various ages here if you want to, various genders here, or male or female here if you want to. And then what that means is it will still go by these audiences, but then it would filter, the additional filter would then be only those age groups. But kind of, the theory, my theory, or how we set these campaigns up as marketers is that really anyone who's engaged with your Facebook, they are at least somewhat interested. So even if they are a male, maybe it's a husband looking for tattoo services for his wife. So, he's still warm, he's still somewhat engaged. So I just always keep this as broad as possible, because we really want to be reaching anyone who has engaged with your brand. Especially again for a smaller website that doesn't get a lot of traffic, it's good to keep this audience as large as you can. And that's really it. That is how you set those audiences up. It's how you set the bottom of funnel and top of funnel campaign up. Yeah, so it's really pretty simple. I believe that's really everything that I need to go through there with that. But if you do have any questions when you've seen this video, just let me know, and yeah, we'll take things from there. I'll discard this one here so that I don't make any strange changes to your existing campaigns. And that's the one that I just created there. All right, okay, thanks, Rebecca. Bye-bye.